marching symbols?
That's a good question. We have synergies, and we have
Synergy 系列
synergies. We have some marching symbols. No. So we have synergy and New Symphonic Viennese.
然后 New Symphonic.
So we do have a few symbols, and this is I want to mention this as well. Any heavy, any medium heavy to heavy symbol you can use in a marching application, right? You want the projection, and that's why you use a heavy symbol. When I was, yeah, go ahead.
那老师的通常建议就是说，以铜把里面来讲，比较中等重量或是比较重的铜把，其实他觉得都可以用在行进乐队上面。那因为行进乐队其实很需要是音量嘛，所以因此他会觉得说，其实这一些字都可以考虑，就比较重一点的把。
So you're going to hear in a little bit the synergy symbols. These, and I can just play them now.
对，那老师就要试打一下，就是刚觉得可以用在行进上面的系列是 synergy， 就是现在老师要试打的这一副。
So these are heavy symbols.
那重量上是稍微偏重一点点的。
And they're 17s. I would recommend you use 18s,
这是17寸的
19s or 20s. These are 17s.
比较建议18、19。
Okay, so they're thick enough. They're gonna have projection.
他说铜把本身的厚度是够的，那你可以让声音比较容易传出去。
This particular pair is fantastic for marches in a concert band or orchestral setting. I don't know if you want to mention that or not.
那老师觉得这一副其实不管你是在行进乐队还是管乐团或是管弦乐团，其实它都是蛮好的选择。
When we designed these, do you know Dennis DeLucia? Does that name, you know who Dennis DeLucia is? Anybody who does marching cymbals?
No.
Dennis DeLucia, he's a percussionist.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You do? Somebody? Okay. Anyway, he's a well-known U.S. Marching percussionist, and
他设计的。
this is synergy heavy. When we designed these cymbals, we had to come up with a name, and we weren't sure, so we're sitting around a table, and we knew these were phenomenal cymbals, and they were going to be for marching, but a bunch of orchestral percussionists had heard them and were blown away by them. So like the Los Angeles Philharmonic uses them, a variety of different orchestras. In the Vienna Philharmonic uses these. So we figured we didn't want to call them an orchestral cymbal, so Dennis came up with the name Synergy.
Synergy.
And it doesn't make any sense, but that's the one we went with.
那老师刚刚讲的就是命名的这个由来，就是当他们设计出这一副，其实原来本来是要给行进方面来使用的，但是很多打击老师都非常喜欢，而且觉得很多管弦乐团、世界知名管弦团都有使用这副把，所以他们也不想就是单纯给他一个很笼统的名称。那有一位美国的那个行进乐队的老师就帮忙想出了 Synergy 这个名称，不知道为什么，但是他们就决定。不知道为什么要想这个名称，但他们觉得不错，所以就采用了。
So we went with that because marching percussionists tend to hear with their eyes, and orchestral and classical musicians tend to just hear it for what they are. So we had to go for a name that would appeal. You know,
所以可能这个名字听起来跟看起来都蛮厉害的。他说，因为通常打行进的人比较依赖眼睛去看指挥，那在管乐团、管弦乐团的老师或是学生们比较依赖耳朵，那所以他需要一个看起来跟听起来都很厉害的名字，就是 Synergy， 就决定用它了。
Popular symbols for marching are Synergy, HHX Synergy symbols, are AA marching symbols as well. So those are two popular symbols.
那老师刚刚讲的这个系列是他觉得比较适合行进乐队在使用，就是 HHX Synergy。
HHX Synergy Heavy, yeah.
还有就是 HH 系列 Synergy 重量比较重的 ，and
AA Marching.
AA Marching， 还有这两个系列是他比较建议使用在，或是觉得比较推荐使用在行进乐队上面。
So I would just encourage you to use your ears. When I was in college, I was a staff arranger and instructor for a big marching band, and we used 19-inch HH Germanics at the time, right?
是以前他 他在曾经也有教过行进乐队，那个时候他们是使用19寸的德式。
And someone came up to me and said, "Why are you using orchestral cymbals in a marching band setting? That doesn't make any sense, right?"
那有一次有人就问他说：“你为什么要在行进乐队里面使用管弦乐团在用的拔？这个很奇怪啊。”
And I asked the person to close. I said, "Close your eyes," and then I played the cymbals. And I said, "Tell me what series and model it is." And of course they couldn't.
那老师就请对方眼睛闭上，然后他就演奏，然后他就问他说：“那你听得出这是
哪个型号的？
系列哪个型号吗？”那其实是听不出来的。
So sound, focus on sound. That's a good question. Any other questions?
有没有任何其他问题？就是关于声音。
Yeah, go ahead.
就是说，刚刚来讲嘛，如果我们行进乐队要使用的话，越大声越好，那所以相对重量要越重。但是我们在带乐团其实是学生之多，不是多重多小，小朋友的力量其实没有办法举起那么重的力量。那有没有比较合适给小朋友选择？
以后这个事情的
这个走。 就是重量，
你要走啊，不能走，不能走。
他继续拍，他传给我。
Right.
他那个主意可以。
Yeah.
可以，帮我。
Okay, so if you're using in elementary school, I would use 14 or 16-inch cymbals, medium weight. B8X, XSR. So I would use those 14 or 16-inch cymbals.
那老师说的就是可以选择，就是如果是小朋友，他们没有办法用太重的拔，就是B8X 系列或 SPR 系列的14或16寸，他觉得也可以取代，就是在行进乐队这方面的使用。
Yeah, and when I was answering the gentleman's question, that was for high school and college level.
那老师刚刚就是之前所提的建议，大部分都是给年纪稍微大一点，大概高中生、大学生的学生来做的建议。
That's good. Anything else?
有没有这方面有没有问题？
没有错。
一般社长，妈全都会希望说轻，但是声音传导力够，就这样。
很难兼顾。
就选一个强壮的男生来打就好，
Yes.
对不对？像黄老师这种就不行，
Right, but that's
绝
actually
对不行。
that's one of the reasons why our synergy is the most popular, because the way they're designed, it has the projection that so the AA marching is actually going to be a little bit heavier. It's not going to be it's not going to have as much projection, but the HHX synergy is going to have that projection.
那老师觉得能兼顾这两件事情的一个很好的选择，其实就是 Synergy 系列，就是当你希望你的拔不要太重，但是你又希望声音可以投射的出去，音量又足够，他觉得 Synergy 其实就是一个很好的选择。
And I'm going to demonstrate all these for you here when we're
对，
done.
老师等一下会示范，会试打让大家。
Synergy 的重量真的比较轻吗？
那这个要问老师。
Yeah, what?
So it's lighter than a lot of.
The best way to explain it is that the synergy sounds 2 inches bigger than it is. That's the best way to explain it.
那老师觉得要
And the artisan as well. Those two series, they sound bigger. You know, here's something here. I'm gonna play this for you. Hang on. I was just up in the factory picking up some cymbals for a conservatory where I teach, and I have a recording of me playing. These are 16-inch
那老师现在要播放的是
16寸
16寸 artisan 系
medium light.
那中等重量的拔，
So these are small, thin cymbals.
它是偏小而且稍微比较薄。
Chris, these are 16-inch artisan medium lights. Listen. So you hear they have a pretty good articulation at the front end.
就是听起来其实
Good
这个点是
articulation.
很清楚的。
So for a 16-inch cymbal. So 16-inch cymbal that
16
sounds louder because we figured out a way in the synergies and in the artisans to enhance that projection. So those two series are going to have more projection than say the HH or anything else. So that's why I think they're also popular in the marching.
那老师提到说，其实，在所有系列里面 ，Synergy 跟 Artisan 这2个系列，它听起来的音量其实会比实际上的还要再大声。通常16寸其实听起来可能像18、19寸。那因为他们在这2个系列的制造过程或是设计上面，他们有找出一个方法，让这个铜把的设计，它声音的投射是比较好的。对，那声音投射好，你其实听起来音量就会比较大，但是它实际上并没有那么重。
You know how sometimes you'll play a suspended cymbal and you feel like you've peaked or you're going to overplay it?
那老师有提到说有没有某一些情况，也觉得好像打吊把，可是就是已经把吊把打爆了那种情况。
The artisans don't give that. Even from a small 15-inch, it always feels like it can go louder.
那其实，在 Artisan 像 Artisan 这种声音投射比较好的系列，其实他觉得说，其实演奏者不太会遇到这种状况，你再怎么打都觉得它声音可以传出去，不会觉得吊把好像已经撑不住，已经快要被打爆那种感觉。
So I can't tell you what we did to
是
do
秘
that,
密
but
怎么做到的是秘密？对，但是实际上就是这2个系列 Synergy 跟 Artisan，它声音投射是比较好的。
so hammering. We're going to talk about hammering. We have a